All right, welcome back to it. It's been a couple days now since the big debate in Philadelphia. And look, it's no surprise that these polling companies say Kamala Harris won. Okay, she came in and performed better than expected. Of course, she had a lot of assistance. I mean, how many people expected Donald Trump to debate David Muir that night and have Kamala just stand and watch? Because that's what happened in a lot of people's eyes. But what is it showing in terms of the numbers a few days later? How is the polling being affected? Joining me now to discuss this is the director of Big Data Poll, Rich Baris. Rich, my friend, welcome back. Thank you for being here on a Friday.
Thanks for having me, as always. It's good to be here with you.
Now, I've seen a number of polls. The Rasmussen Daily poll, I just saw it come up a little bit earlier today. 6 points now. Donald Trump is leading in Rasmussen. This is not with Scott there anymore, by the way. He's at RMG. People don't need to know that. But they poll every day. Every day. So it's a rolling poll, right? It's there every single day. Donald Trump's gone from being +1 or 2 to +6. That's kind of telling. I mean, to me, am I wrong?
Look, I think I even fell into the trap this time, Steve, where, she did a polished performance, right? And she won by the traditional standards. And when you ask people in a poll, who do you think won? They're going to tell you Harris. But I think it's very clear after a couple of days of talking with voters that they weren't looking for a polished performance. They were looking for a couple of things. And I'm talking about voters who may not wanted to vote for Donald Trump, but accept the fact that they believe his presidency was a success and they had more money with him. There was more peace abroad with Donald Trump. They wanted her to tell them exactly how she would be different than Joe Biden and what, her policies actually were. And she didn't give that to them. So, we had a couple hundred people who told us that they were undecided in our last poll that we just released last week. We asked them if we could call them back if they watched the debate. A number of them said they would, and I'm stunned. But they, those who decided went for Trump 2-1, which is simply because they did. So they didn't get out of her what they wanted.
Well, I've got some crosstabs here with me, and for those that don't speak poll-esque the way Rich and I do, it just means the back numbers. Who did they talk to? What was the breakdown? And these are some brand new poll numbers out of Michigan. Look, Michigan, according to Kamala Harris and her own internal polling, Michigan is the strongest state of Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania to go her way. All right, so two brand new polls out of Michigan in the last 24 hours. I think these are very telling. Insider Advantage shows Donald Trump +1, 49-48. A brand new poll from Michigan News Source and Mitchell Research shows it at 48-48. That's pretty telling. But what I want to dig into here a little bit deeper beyond that is let's talk about the debate. People that thought it was basically weighted against Donald Trump. He had an unfair advantage. Overall, the overall numbers 48-9. Of the independent voters that thought it was basically rigged, 56-6%. And I have to believe that these numbers right here are pretty much the same across the country. What do you think?
Remember, too, they were going into this debate with people, remembering this is the same media that hid Joe Biden's senility from them. I mean, let's be real, Steve. And then now they're doing a 3v1 against Donald Trump. So it doesn't really matter that question, who do you think won? It really does not get down into the source. And when you drill down into these numbers, he gains from whatever position he was in last. And by the way, there were two polls before these last two that came out in Michigan from native state pollsters, right? You had Glenn Gariff Group and you had Epic MRA. They both had Trump up. And by the way, they never had Trump up in 16 or 20 against Hillary or Biden. Right. So, I just try to pull people back down to planet Earth. Right. Because we're constantly bombarded. Yeah. We're bombarded with narrative.
Let me dig into this in a couple more places because I think a lot of these things apply nationally. Probably switch from Harris to Trump as a result of watching the debate. Switch from Harris to Trump, 5%. Switch from Trump to Harris, 3%. He wins in that category. Who's best suited to address your biggest concern? Donald Trump by a few points. What's your number one concern? The economy by a mile. I mean, it's not even close. The economy's number one. It's not about transgender. It's not about abortion. It's not about, and number two, of course, is the border. I mean, this lines up with the electorate that we know, Rich. This lines up with the things we know, doesn't it?
It does. And you know what backs this up even further, Steve? Jake Tapper, Mr. Hard News at CNN, The fact of the matter is he played a pivotal role in the usurping of Joe Biden, that effort to remove him. He played a key role. He was the tip of the spear in that effort in the media. And after the debate, what did he do? He spent his opening talking points eviscerating Kamala Harris and showing the clip where they asked her specifically on the economy, what are you going to do to make people's lives better? And she went rambling on talking points. And none of it, right, just a drift, and none of it specifically address the concerns of voters. And I think, after talking to them for a few days, they wanted her to kind of just allay some of their fears. Are you too left wing?
I heard people say that exact thing. I played some stuff earlier here on the network. A woman said, I wanted Kamala to hit it out of the park. She didn't do it. This woman wanted Kamala. She wanted to be able to vote for Kamala. Can't do it. A couple more things I want to share from this poll, because I think they're also telling. The question that Kamala whiffed on, question number one, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? I was a middle-class kid. She went on off. Jake Tapper said she punted on it, ripped on her, just ripped on her. It was brutal. Here, 56 to 38. 56 to 38. Are you better off? No. Worse off, 56%, better off, 38%. And then here's something else of this poll specifically. Who'd you vote for in 2020? Remember, this poll said 48-48. Who'd you vote for? 47% Biden, 44% Trump. These are all what you call in the polling industry trend lines, aren't they?
They are, in that number, too, that's getting them now to 48-48. The difference between that and the recalled vote, those are the real swing voters. Those are because there are not that many of them. Those are the real persuadable voters. And that's telling you that, the crossover between those, voted for Trump, now voting for Harris, is less than half the number of those who voted for Biden and are now voting for Trump. And I think the biggest problem she was always going to have is that for over a year now, people have been telling us that Donald Trump was a better president than Joe Biden. And she's stuck in like this Gerald Ford trap where she needed to get out from underneath Joe Biden's shadow. And that was her opportunity to do it. And first impressions are, you only get one chance to make one, right? And I really think that it's a problem.
Yeah, last thing here. Because a whole host of people watching right now are like, I don't believe the polls are correct. That might all be true. But here's what we do know. And I want you to weigh in on this. In 2016, and you just kind of weighed in this a little bit. Let's explore a little bit. 2016, 2020. Donald Trump outperformed the polls anywhere from 2 to 4 points. If we say, for the sake of argument, the New York Times Siena poll from before the debate puts Donald Trump +1 nationally, just say that's true. It becomes an electoral college landslide. If he outperforms the polls now, 2 to 4 points, that would put him up by 1 point to 3 points nationally. It's a blowout, isn't it? I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, it is. And people should remember the New York Times poll in Michigan was Biden +9. That did not happen. Biden won by a little bit over 2. So Trump is a very strong closer. And I maintain this. I said before the convention, she better come out of this thing with an 8-point national lead, maybe 10 points, because Hillary had in the AP poll, she had a 12-point lead. Biden had a 13-point lead. So, she is in the worst position of any Democratic candidate running against Donald Trump. Period.
And so, right. And so while she wants to debate, Donald Trump says, I have an idea. I'll go to Flint, Michigan. I'll see him there on Tuesday, by the way. He's going to Flint. He goes right to the belly of the beast and says, look, Genesee County, dark blue county, a swing county in the state of Michigan. He's going to go right there and plant his flag. By the way, Dukakis was up 17 at one time.
That's right.
We never called him president either.
Steve, losers want to re-debate. Losers want to do over, and so that tells you everything. Don't listen to what they're saying. Look at what they're doing. She wants another debate. Yeah. What does that tell you?
Yeah, she's not getting it. Rich Baris, no debate here. You're the best. All right, thank you.
All the best, my friend.